What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Brothers in Beer Podcast.
This is episode 40 or 39?
I think it's 40.
Episode 40.
I put 40 in the title. I hope it's 40.
And I want you to know that I have to say my name is Steve. can't go any further.
Well, if he's Steve, that makes me Ken.
That's good.
Still, that won't change.
That's not going to change.
No.
All right, we got some good stuff to talk about. I wonder if we should wait maybe to get a person or two in here.
No.
No?
This is a podcast that we happen to stream.
Okay. So we got some good stuff we're going to talk about on this podcast. We're going to talk about, we got our Darwin Awards and our dumbest criminals. You got any of that?
No.
You'll find something there, won't you?
Yeah, I guess.
And we got like Game of Thrones is coming out soon. We got some April Fool's stuff to talk about, and maybe some boobies with the last beer.
Yeah, so if you look at the little section description or whatever on the stream, if you're watching the stream, April Fool's Day gone wrong, right? Creepy.
April Fool's Day gone wrong.
Creepy Uncle Joe. Some people will know what that means immediately. Some people won't. And teacher boobies.
Teacher boobies. And then we got some good beers we're going to drink.
We do have some good beers. We have some very popular beers and some very expensive beers.
We're going to start out with Dragons and Yum Yums, whatever the hell that means.
I have no idea.
We're not starting out with that. But we got Dragons and Yum Yums. We got Mad Tree Shade. We got a chocolate pretzel beer. But first, we're going to start out with everybody's favorite beer in the world, the best beer ever brewed. From what I can figure, everybody loves this beer more than anything that's ever happened.
Yeah, so
Founders, KBS.
Ratebeer.com, according to Founders' website. So I don't know how accurate that is, but according to Founders' website, Ratebeer.com has this as a 100.
On the bottle, it says widely acclaimed.
Ow. I kicked my mic stand.
I kicked my mic. Widely acclaimed. So if I ever brew a beer, I'm actually going to put that on my beer.
Widely acclaimed?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why should I? Why not? It says a lot of other stuff there, too.
I think I'm going to brew beer. I'm going to try and brew beer Sunday.
This is a flavored stout.
It is definitely a flavored stout.
You going to read any stats on it, or?
I thought we were going to... Oh, we're getting right into it, huh?
Well, we drink the first beer with our...
We're getting right into it. All right, so...
Well, if you want to... Okay, go ahead.
Founders KBS. For those of you that don't know what KBS is, and you have no idea what the hell we're talking about when we talk about how acclaimed this beer is, this is one of those beers that the brewing company, Founders, has a release date. So on a specific date every year, they say Founders is released, or KBS is released. A bunch of people drive to the brewery and they hang out outside. They buy tickets to get in to make sure that they are there for the release and that they get a guaranteed to buy one of the bombers that come out of it. Yet it's been released for almost a month and you can buy it at about any grocery store that sells Founders now. But anyway, it's a bourbon barrel aged chocolate coffee stout.
I like everything except for the coffee, stout, bourbon barrel. What's the KBS stand for? Does anybody know?
Kentucky Bourbon.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Series, maybe? I don't know. I really don't know. Don't care. The 2019, so every year they release a new version. The 2019 version is 12.2% ABV with 70 IBUs. It says, what we've got here is an imperial stout brewed with a massive amount of coffee and chocolates, then cave-aged in oak bourbon barrels for an entire year to make sure wonderful bourbon undertones come through in the finish. Makes your taste buds squeal with delight.
Squeal.
When was the last time you squealed in delight?
Well, the last time I watched Deliverance?
Say, what was that guy's name? They made squeal.
I don't remember his name.
He was a big name actor. Not important. Anyway.
It is important now, because now I want to know.
This is thick and it's dark.
Oh my God.
Smells creamy, as Steve would say.
Are you kidding me right now?
So,
oh, this
smells
like
of
poop.
Smells of coffee, a little bit of chocolate. A little bit of bourbon. My sinuses are a little clogged right now, so I'm having trouble really getting a good whiff of it.
I'm not going to like this beer.
Being an imperial stout, it should be black. It is very black.
It looks like motor oil.
Should have a thick tan head. It's got a thick tan head.
I could pour this in my car. I need an oil change.
You could pour it in your car, but it's not going to work very well. It might be able to run as gas.
I like your Brothers in Beer work shirt.
You like my Brothers in Beer work shirt? Once again, I came straight from work, and I've got my work shirt on, so I put the Brothers in Beer business card there to make sure nobody could see where I work. That way, if I offend you in any way, you can't call and get me fired.
Man, I was really thinking that we might be able to just kind of cruise through this beer, but I don't think it's going to be possible for me.
12.5%? You're just going to cruise right through it, huh?
I didn't know it was 12.5%, first of all. Second of all,
I don't know if it says it on the bottle.
I just thought everybody loved this beer. It had to be really good.
Well, like any other flavor or style of beer, any other style of beer, some people love it, some people hate it.
You guys see that? I got the rest of my tattoo finished.
Smack you right on the whack.
It really feels like a sunburn right now.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've got plenty of them.
You know what he did? Like when I was first in there, like I'm just sitting down. I got my arm sitting on this rest, and he's tattooing, doing this and that. And of course, it hurts in different spots or whatever. But he's like, I need you to lay down so I can get in there. So when I laid down and I laid my arm on that rest, it was like now I can put pressure on it. It's like that felt. You ever see those road graders that just take the top of the road right off?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like he was doing. Like just.
God, you're such a baby.
I am. And then I asked that Jessica Poole, because she likes to come over and laugh at me.
Yeah.
She was over there giggling. I said, "What are you laughing at?" She was like, "Oh, nothing." She said, "You want me to go over to the bar and get you a shot of tequila?" The bar next door.
You want me to go over to the bar and get you a shot of Quit Your Bitchin'?
Yeah, Quit Your Bitchin'. She's got tattoos all over her.
Everywhere.
But what Robbie told me was that he said, you should see us getting tattoos. We cry like bitches. I don't believe him. He's got tattoos on his neck.
And his head. Let's try this beer.
This is the greatest beer ever made, they say.
It is. I will say, of all the bourbon barrel beers I've had, I'm not a big fan of bourbon barrel beers. Never have been. It's hard to say. Bourbon barrel beers. I've never been a big fan, but this would be my favorite, I guess, because it doesn't quite have the strong bourbon flavor. Like, I pick up more chocolate in this than anything.
I pick up just burnt.
That's what you pick up of all stouts.
Hold on, I got it. I'm just wanting to make sure that
you just got a Facebook, huh?
There's actually no. I'm wanting to pull it up in case we get somebody in here.
I can see it right here.
There's no one.
If anybody comes in, I can see it. Don't worry.
I'm not worried about there being people. I just want to make sure if there's anyone. Okay. Now this tastes to me like burnt popcorn kernels. You taste that?
I don't taste burnt, I don't taste popcorn, and I don't taste kernels.
You know that smell that your house smells like when you burn a bag of popcorn in the microwave?
No. I don't burn bags of popcorn in my microwave. No. But I feel like you may have done that.
No, what I did was worse than that.
I see.
So the other night, I was playing Xbox.
This is from the other night? Are you kidding me? So let me rewind a little bit. I walked into Steve's apartment today, and the first thing I said was, somebody burn something?
Oh, God.
I expected him to say, man, I was grilling and shit got out of hand and I burnt it, that was my dinner. But okay, carry on with your story.
Oh, I can't. I don't know if I can.
You're going to have to. We got to get through this beer. We've got other beers to drink.
So,
my finger itches really bad.
We got feedback from the last podcast. Thank you guys so much for all your feedback, and most of it was while we were on.
I was going to say, we got feedback. The only feedback I saw was the people chatting in the podcast.
But we've actually picked up 12 new likes on our page
Which I don't know how that happened
this
because
week. That's awesome, and I think things are really going smooth. But anyways, okay, so the other night I was on Xbox and I'd been playing for a couple hours, and I'm starting to get hungry, and I'm in there with 3 of my friends, and one of them said, "I'm going to take a break for a minute," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I put my headset down, and I went over and I turned the stove on. I put a pan on and turned the stove on like a 6.
Okay.
And I had frozen hamburgers.
What's up, Jason?
I threw a hamburger in the damn pan, and then I went back to the headset, and the guy he's like, "I'm back." I was like, "I thought you were taking a break." He's like, "I just had to pee." So
Okay.
we start playing Blackout. No, yeah, I think we were playing. I can't remember what we were playing, but anyways, I'm sitting there playing and playing and playing and playing, and the next thing I know, I can't see my fucking TV screen. The whole house is full of smoke, man. It was fucking smoke everywhere. I'm like, what the hell? I look over and the pan is all, like just plume and smoke coming out like a freaking. I run over there, the burner thing, it's bright red like a coal, and I go to grab the pan, it's fucking stuck to the burner, man.
Holy shit!
I had to rip it off there and shit. And then the hamburger was like almost still frozen on top and burnt black on the bottom.
How many days ago was this?
That was the other day.
The other day.
It was either yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. My days are blending together.
And your apartment still smells like something caught on fire.
I couldn't hardly see shit. There was so much smoke. I mean, it was unbelievable. I couldn't see my hand. I opened up my back door and I opened up a window, and it took probably 45 minutes for all the smoke to clear out of my apartment, man.
That's funny.
And here's the worst part. Well, I don't know if it's the worst part, but here's the bad part. I look over. I'm like freaking trying to get the smoke out. I look up to the ceiling, kind of in the hallway, and I noticed that my smoke alarm did not go off. Like, I could be dying right now.
I think that's a sure sign you should probably check the batteries.
Yeah, I probably got to do that.
That's funny.
So,
all right, well, and there, ladies and gentlemen, is my stupid people of the day story.
You can't use that.
Oh, I can't?
No.
Oh, all right.
I got a stupid person of the day. So you got something?
Oh, I got something.
Okay, good.
Mine's not a Darwin, but it is a dumb people getting arrested. It kind of goes hand in hand with a Darwin that I had not long ago.
Okay.
He told police he was protecting an asset in a gunfight. His wife had another story. From his hospital bed, Charles Eugene Ferris told investigators a wild tale of being hired to protect a wealthy asset from flying bullets during a suspicious encounter with a shadowy figure in northern Arkansas woods. In reality, officials say the 50-year-old got hurt because he and his neighbor, Christopher Hicks, 36, were drinking and decided to take turns shooting each other while wearing a bulletproof vest. The divergent stories were related to law enforcement, it's supposed to say relayed, but it says related. The divergent stories were relayed. Do people that write stories online not have editors or publishers
there's no more.
They just fucking write the story and hit post? Like, this is for a website. Like, it's not this guy's blog. This is from the Washington fucking Post.
There's no more not fact checks, but does that make this fake news?
Because it's from the Washington Post? I hate that fucking term. God, I hate that term.
It's not a term, it's a reality.
Yeah, but it's now turned everything into fake news. Anytime somebody hears something that they don't agree with or don't like, fake news. Whether they know it's fake or not, that's their response.
Oh, yeah.
The divergent stories were relayed to law enforcement late on Sunday night after authorities in the Ozarks community of Rogers, Arkansas got a call about an incoherent man in a bulletproof vest who had repeatedly been shot multiple times at a nearby state park. A deputy headed to the hospital and found Ferris sitting on his bed in a hospital gown. According to an affidavit from the Benton County Sheriff's Office, he had a red mark on the upper left side of his chest. Otherwise, he appeared unharmed. Naturally, the deputy wanted to know exactly how the man had gotten shot. After some initial reluctance, Ferris recounted an elaborate and fantastical yarn. He had been working in private security to make some extra money and help pay his bills, he said, and he had met a man at a bar in a nearby city of Springdale, Arkansas, who needed protection. Ferris referred to the man as his asset and told police that he could not and would not divulge his mysterious client's identity. What's up, Trevor? The secretive man had paid him $200 for his services. He claimed, according to the affidavit, at around 9 p.m. on Sunday, Ferris had gone in a white Mercedes-Benz that the asset was driving, he said. They had driven together to a trailhead in Hobbs State Park Conservation Area, a massive lakefront wooded expanse in Benton County. There they found a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man in a white suit. This dude, he should write a fucking book.
I know. Get to the fucking point already.
No, I mean the guy that's telling the story, not the author.
Oh.
I mean, to get, like, I don't know how long he had from the time that he was taken to the hospital to the time the cops showed up. But, I mean, he came up with one hell of a story. Ferris and his clandestine asset got out of the car and started talking to the man, he told police. Just then, he said, a hail of bullets came from the thick woods. Someone standing at the edge of the forest was firing at them. Ferris said he shielded his asset with his body and pushed him back into the car. In the process, he claimed he was shot in the back 5 times. Ferris shot back at the attacker with his .308 caliber rifle, getting hit in the chest with another round as he returned fire, he told police.
What's up, Trevor?
Then he jumped in the Mercedes and his asset sped away. After the asset dropped him off in his car, Ferris dumped his guns at the friend's house, he claimed. Then he took himself to the hospital to see if he had been wounded. He refused to give the deputy his wife's name, saying that he didn't want her to know that he had been in a dangerous gunfight. A short time later, however, she showed up at the hospital, and the outlandish story immediately fell apart. Leslie Ferris described a very different version of events according to the affidavit. Her husband had been out on their back deck drinking with their neighbor on Sunday night when she heard a gun go off, she said. When she came outside to check what was happening, her husband had a red mark on his chest but told her that he was fine. Later, though, he started complaining that it hurt and told detectives. She told detectives. She had him go to the hospital and call her once he got there, but he never phoned, so she decided to just go check on him.
So they were playing, hey, kitty, put on this bulletproof vest. They were shooting each other?
Yeah.
How did he come up with that story?
I don't know. He's brilliant.
That guy probably cheats on his wife.
He might. I mean, to come up with something that quick, I mean, that was... I mean, even if we're talking like 3 hours. Let's say he's sitting at the hospital for 3 hours before the cops get there. In that 3 hours, he came up with the most elaborate James Bond, fucking Matt Damon in Born Supremacy or whatever story. Like, it was great. Like, I want to say that he's an idiot, obviously, for the reason he got in trouble. But he's brilliant. Give this man a movie deal.
Most brilliant people don't say, hey, shoot me and see if the bullet goes through this vest.
That's a valid point. Oh, this beer's rough.
It's rough.
Where's my mouse?
For you guys just showing up, we're drinking KBS. Ugh. I'm about to throw up.
Steve might legitimately throw up, guys. Just saying. We got Jason Reeker, Trevor Kaufman, Sheila Locke, Tom and Lori Murray in the house.
Hey, Jason, is April watching with you? Or is it just you, buddy? Okay, I got a stupid criminal.
Wait a minute. You got a strange obsession with Jason's wife.
It's not an obsession. I like April. She's a nice person. But last time, remember he said he was having a watch party to watch our podcast. And I was like, is it just him at this watch party?
Right.
Because...
Did anybody else show up?
But then I was wondering, was it his family and stuff or whatever, his wife and stuff. Okay, my stupid criminal thing just happened a couple days ago. Well, at the end of...
yes, April is watching.
At the end of March.
Okay, so that was just within the last week or so.
I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. You know how we were doing the Florida man?
Yeah.
Have a Florida man stupid criminal.
Nice, because, I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of stupid criminals in Florida.
The story starts out. Sometimes a Florida man makes it so easy for law enforcement. And they just call the guy Florida man now. They don't even...
It doesn't need to go anywhere.
Florida man.
It doesn't need to go anywhere else. Like, who gives a shit what his name is?
Exactly. They don't care anymore.
We don't need to know his age. We don't need to know his name.
In this particular instance, the Polk County Sheriff's Office said that Ronnie Dillon Willis.
That is such a Florida name.
25, returned to the Winter Haven home of a woman who was being interviewed by officers. Marta Diaz had called deputies to report that her 2009 Jeep Patriot had been stolen earlier in the day on March 24th. So this happened maybe a week and a half ago?
Yeah, about that.
According to an arrest affidavit, Willis pulled up to the front door of her house and that same tan Jeep, got out of the driver's side. As Diaz and the officer were looking at him, deputies say Willis told them he was looking for his cell phone, which was pinging back to this address.
So this woman's got the cops at her house.
She had reported a tan Jeep being stolen.
Because her vehicle has been stolen. And the vehicle pulls up.
Apparently, the Haines City, Florida-born Willis realized he had lost his cell phone and traced it back to Diaz's home.
Wow.
Look, okay, if you stole a car and you lost your cell phone, when you pull up to the house where your cell phone is pinging and you see a cop car there, are you still going to get out?
Me?
And
no.
He's actually, the cop was on the porch with the woman.
I'm not a Florida man, though.
That's true. I wonder if just the term Florida man in front of your name just takes...
You immediately lose IQ points.
As officers interviewed Willis, they say he told them he had awoke at the residence inside a vehicle, but did not recall if it was the Jeep Patriot or a minivan that was also parked at Diaz's property. Willis, the sheriff's department said, told them he had knocked on the door of the house, and when no one answered, he left in the Jeep and said he was trying to get home to find his cell phone. And it was pinging back at the house he just took the car from. So, but this story, there's a lot to this story, and I'm wondering if, like, he knows her or something. Like, was he at a party at her house? Or is this just another made-up story like the other guy's thing?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Why would he wake up in one of the vehicles in front of her house?
It's a very good question. Tom, who makes that, by the way? Tom said they're drinking a hop solo and it tastes pretty good, so I'm curious who drinks that. I don't think I've had that one.
Hop solo, like Han Solo?
That's what he said. It's a hop solo.
Nice. Anyways, the deputy could not believe how lucky he was when the guys just pulled up in the fucking car that he stole.
Case closed.
Got him.
Got him.
Man, I love Darwin and dumb people shit. Now, like I said, I thought we were going to be able to cruise through this beer, but at 12%, 12.5?
12.5, and you can taste every single percentage of it.
Alcohol with coffee, chocolate,
and bourbon barrel.
Bourbon.
It doesn't actually have bourbon in it, but
it's just aged in the
it's been aged in a barrel.
So,
Sierra Nevada.
I got a question though. Like when they age them in the barrels, like that's leftover bourbon, right?
It doesn't actually pull that much bourbon out of it. So
I've
I was talking.
Mila Kunis say that they.
Yeah, but they're not doing that with this. That's for that specific bourbon.
Oh, okay.
No, I was
Mila
talking.
Kunis could sell me this.
Mia Kunis could sell you about anything.
Yes.
She would sell you shit on a stick, and you would eat it and tell her it tasted good.
Is it hers?
Oh God. Anyway, I was at Warped Wing.
What's up, Roger?
I was at Warped Wing doing a tour, and they were talking about their barrel aging that they got going on. And I asked, because I have not aged a beer in bourbon barrels yet. Yeah, Roger, Devil's Cut. So I asked, I said, what's the alcohol percentage when it comes out of those barrels? Thinking that it would have to pull some of the bourbon out, right? He goes, maybe 0.5% more than what it was when we put it in.
Oh, really?
He said it doesn't really.
It just takes the flavor.
It takes the flavor, and more than anything, you're getting the flavor from the oak. I mean, that's what a lot of people don't understand is bourbon, when they make it, before they put it in those barrels, it does not taste like bourbon. I mean, most of that flavor comes from the oak.
No shit.
Yeah.
So it's oak that I hate.
It's oak barrel flavor that
it's
you
not
hate.
The actual bourbon, it's the oak.
Well, let's finish these beers and move on to we're going to need to rinse these glasses out.
Okay, while I do that.
We can't move on to a couple fruity beers.
Fruity beers. By the way, this is championship weekend for Steve.
Championship weekend? What championship did you win? Oh, that one had some bourbon flavor to it. Woo! Oh, that gave me goosebumps. I don't know if you can see those or not. Nope, you can't see them. Gave me goosebumps.
Oh
Holy
God,
shit.
this is
Wow.
gross.
Jen has joined.
Oh, I won the challenge.
By proxy.
But since I won it because Kenny quit, I only got one sour.
I didn't quit.
You said you quit.
I never started.
You said I conceded. You did start.
Not really.
About a month in, he's like, I'm conceding. Which gave me an excuse to really quit, too. We actually didn't do a final weigh-in. But since he conceded, I say I won.
I gave you the victory. I texted you the other day and said, pick up your sours. You beat me.
Right, but I didn't want to do that.
I haven't weighed in.
But since it's
by the way,
such a hollow victory.
I have no idea what my final weight was. I haven't weighed in. I can tell.
What are we drinking next? Because I hate this.
Next is going to be Shade by Mad Tree. So you go rinse these out.
I want to tell you guys, this is $23.99 a 4-pack. Maybe you're paying for the alcohol content?
You're paying because it's KBS. Yes, Jen, I made the face you make when you drink bourbon. I actually like bourbon. That's the funny thing. Like, I can drink bourbon.
Yeah, but this tastes like poop.
I don't think it tastes all that bad. It's just when I drink beer, I want beer. When I drink bourbon, I want bourbon. All right, Steve is going to go rinse those glasses out. I'm going to give a quick pause and record on the podcast software, and I'm going to grab the next beer from the Brothers and Beer cooler right behind me. I wish this chat would automatically fucking scroll. Why do I have to get on here and hit the scroll bar? It's stupid.